am fantasy and paranormal romance author Leslye Penelope, and welcome to My Imaginary Friends, a look behind the scenes of an author mapping the worlds in my head and making them a reality. Hello, friends. Today is Saturday, October 12th, 2024, and this is episode 247 of My Imaginary Friends. We are live on YouTube as I'm recording this, and I'm Leslye. As a reminder, you can sign up for the Footnotes newsletter, which includes the show notes for each episode, as well as inspiration, strategies, and ideas to help you grow as a writer and as a creative. That is at myimaginaryfriends.net/footnotes. When you sign up, you can choose to become an imaginary best friend for a few dollars a month and get access to the premium posts, which are long-form craft essays, as well as discounts on my coaching and courses. So please join me there. So this week's best thing, my brother was here for a week from LA. He was visiting. October is kind of a tough month for my family. October 1st was my father's birthday, and October 14th of this year is the 20-year anniversary of his passing. And so my brother came to visit, to hang out. It was also my aunt's 90th birthday party, so he was there for that. And it's always good to see him. I was in LA this summer, got to see him. He hadn't been here in probably 2 years, I think. So it had been a minute since he'd been in the Maryland area. And yeah, always cool to hang out with my little brother and see what he's up to. Lots of fun playing games. And that is this week's best thing. I also got some really cool news that one day I hope I'll be able to share. And I hate doing that. That's the worst, isn't it? I try not to, but it was actually really very good news. So there's that. Writing update. I am 38,000 words into the draft of the book that is still temporarily called The Book of Secrets. I have not found a new title yet. I have taken a break from the brainstorming of the new title for the book because it is bringing me down. And I think that I'll be able to find a title once I get further into the book, like from something that I'm writing in the manuscript. Going really well. I had made an error in judgment. I don't know if I talked about this last time or not, but originally my goal was 10,000 words a week for my draft, and I wanted to finish the draft in 6 weeks. I figured it would be about 60,000 words. And it was going so well at the beginning, I was like, oh, let me up it. Let me move the goalpost. Let me do 12,000 words a week. Instead of writing 5 days, I'm going to write 6 days. I'm going to get it done faster. I'm going to get it done in 4 weeks. And soon my body, brain, muse, fingers, wrists, everything was like, no, Leslye, that's not a good idea. We're not going to do that. And I was like, oh, okay. The first goal was a good goal. The first goal was achievable. There was nothing wrong with that goal. And I need to remind myself and remember not to move the goalpost, because as seductive as that is, it's not a good idea. So we're keeping the 10,000 words a week goal. If I get more, I get more, but I'm not going to try for more. I'm going to write 5 days a week. If I do an extra day, if I so happen to have extra energy, which is doubtful, then yeah, I'm really pleased with how the first draft is going. Now, I was dictating at first, and that was going fine, but then I went back to typing my first draft this past week, and maybe a bit of last week. And that's actually going a lot better. I've gotten to that place in my dictating where it's better than it ever has been. And again, I dictate in Microsoft Word. It has pretty good speech to text functionality. I stopped speaking most of the punctuation. Instead, I run it through ChatGPT or Claude, which are AI programs, to just clean up the punctuation and the capitalization and the spelling. And I have a prompt that's basically like, please clean up the punctuation, spelling, capitalization of this dictated text without changing my words unnecessarily or changing the voice of the characters. And that has been working. But there's still something weird about dictating the first draft. And I've gotten better at it, and I've been trying to save my wrists. And I actually went to another thing that happened in the past couple of weeks. I officially got diagnosed with cubital tunnel syndrome. I got an EMG, I believe it's called, which is basically they stick needles in your hands and zap your nerves. It's not painful per se. It's just weird. It's like you can feel like electricity is running up your nerves and zinging you. It's like zzz, zzz, zzz. And you're not being electrocuted, but Anyway, he was like, you definitely have cubital tunnel syndrome, which is the ulnar nerve is entrapped in my elbow. The good thing is it's not entrapped in my shoulder or neck. And so I'm supposed to be doing these exercises, which I forget to do. I need an accountability partner to be like, Leslye, did you do your nerve gliding? And I'm going to go see a hand specialist about it in a few weeks. So this is an issue that I have been dealing with for a number of years. If you are a longtime listener of the podcast, you will know I self-diagnosed because really, when your pinky and your half of your ring finger are numb, then that's basically what it is, cubital tunnel syndrome, because your ulnar nerve is entrapped, your funny bone nerve. Apparently, it happens to weightlifters, so that could be a cause. I'm not a weightlifter, but I lift weights and have for a number of years. Also, being on the computer as much as I am, and yeah, so maybe physical therapy. We're going to investigate some treatment options. Anyway, so the dictation was obviously to try to extend the life of my writing career. And it's working, but I'm feeling okay, like when I feel good and I have this sleeve and my wrist sleeves, and that helps with the numbness and the strange sensation that accompanies it. And I'm just so much faster typing. Theoretically, you could be faster dictating because I guess you can talk faster than you type if you're talking at a steady clip. But I do find that when I'm dictating a first draft, my mind works a little more slowly. And so I'm getting actually slightly fewer words than when I type because I'm a pretty fast typist. And I've been used to typing my whole life. I've typed stories. I used to type stories on my typewriter when I was a kid and a teenager. And it just feels just so much more natural. So I have proven the concept of dictating, and I have that in my toolbox, and it is something that I can do and feel more comfortable with. But the story is just coming out more fluidly, and it just feels better to type, even though it doesn't always like feel better physically. It feels better emotionally and creatively. And I know that probably should train harder on the dictation because long term, it is a very good solution to just my longevity as a writer, because I already have to type to revise. Like I can't at this stage. I guess I could, I'm sure if I had more severe issues or even if I was like blind or something, you learn to do what you have to do in order to make it work. But I like typing more, which brings me to my free write. So I have a number of videos on my YouTube channel about their free write reviews. I have one of each model of free write that exists: the original, the Traveler, and the Alpha. And I've been using them to fast draft for the first draft that I'm doing. They're all different. I don't actually ever use the original one. That just sits as a decorative object in my office. I meant to sell it, but at this point, it's like the first one from the first Kickstarter. And it probably works, but probably not that well. Maybe I could sell it, but it's pretty. It's nice to look at. It's a very expensive decorative object, unfortunately. I do use the Traveler quite a bit. I've written many first drafts on it for the past 4 years. And I guess within the past year, the new model, the Alpha, came out, and I've been using that. Now, the Alpha and the Traveler have different keyboards. I didn't actually do a video for the Alpha. I think I actually recorded it, but never posted it or edited it, which is my bad. But I have been enjoying using it. So I've been writing on it. I opened up the Traveler to write the first draft, and I couldn't create a new document. So I rebooted several times. I did a whole factory reset. The thing is kind of hosed, unfortunately, and it's only 4 years old. I think I got it in 2019. So that is very disappointing. I wrote free write. It's out of warranty. The cost to repair it is $150. That's what they quoted me, plus shipping. And I'm doing the math. I use it a lot. And so I decided I'm going to try to get it fixed. I feel like it's worth it. It's a tough decision because it is a lot of money, but I didn't spend whatever they're charging now for it. I got it on the original Indiegogo, so it was probably like $300 something is what I paid initially for the Free Write Traveler. And it's like, is it worth half of that to get it fixed? But I use it a lot. So I'm going to do that. I have been using the Free Write Alpha since the Free Write Traveler is out of commission, and it's great. It's lovely. It's just very clicky. It's got a loud, clicky keyboard, which is not my favorite. I like the soft, mushy keyboard that the Traveler has, but it's doing the job. It's doing the trick, and I'm glad I get to use it. And I thought about, like, should I just use that and not bother fixing my Traveler? But of course, I'm facing several weeks of travel while I'm writing a first draft, which is the exact situation that the Free Write Traveler is made for, and I cannot use mine because it's broken. And, it folds up into a clamshell. I don't know where it is at the moment. But so I am going to take my free ride Alpha, on my trips. I'm going to World Fantasy and Niagara Falls next week, and then I'll be in Nashville, and then I'll be somewhere else. Oh, I'm going to Vegas. And yeah, it's disappointing that I very rarely am traveling and writing a first draft at the same time. And even though I use my free write traveler, I use it at home, or if I occasionally go to a coffee shop or someplace to write, which I don't usually do. And now I'm in the exact situation that it's made for, and I can't use it. It's irony. It's sad. It makes me upset. And this is slightly larger. It still fits pretty well in it's the same size as my laptop, essentially. So it's another thing that I'm going to stick in there and carry on my back. I'm just not happy about it. Anyway. Library Addict says, too bad it doesn't have a volume control for the keyboard. Yeah. And it's not even so much the noise of the clicky of the keyboard. Like, that's really loud, right? As opposed to like my soft, nice external keyboard or a laptop keyboard. It's the feeling of it. I feel like it's a little extra. They're not heavy keys, but it's a little extra effort to type on it. And it hasn't been causing me any pain so far. So I'm very glad of that. I'm going to keep doing the exercises I'm supposed to do for my wrists and my nerves, and hopefully that will remain the case. But yeah, it is loud, and it's not my ideal typing environment, I guess. It is what it is. But I still love typing on these distraction-free machines because it works very well for my fast drafting, no editing during the first draft process. Hi, Sable Star. I hope the free write comes out with a glow keyboard for writing in the dark. I love my original free write. That would be great. Yeah. I usually actually close my eyes when I'm typing, but I can see the utility, or even the e-ink screen to be light, an LCD, or they have e-ink screens now that are backlit. Don't they? I think they came up with that. So yeah, other options, for the amount that we pay for these free writes, for them not to be lit up or not to have this sort of glow in the dark keyboard. But if you like gadgets, there is a new gadget that my friend sent me. It's just a keyboard. Have you guys seen this? I don't know what it's called. So it's kind of a portable. It's like a tiny one, and you can hook it up to an external monitor. I almost don't see the point of it. And I'm not interested in buying it as much as I love my writing gadgets. It just didn't speak to me. If I find it, I'll put it in the show notes. But it's another thing that you can get to do this with. But yeah, the original free write, it is portable. Actually, my friend bought one and bought a case, and I guess she had 2 cases. She sent me a case for it. So my original large typewriter free write, I just keep in the case, which makes it more portable than it would be otherwise, but still not ideal. But yeah, I'm moving through this draft on whatever I'm writing it on, and I will get the traveler fixed and report back with details. Hopefully they are able to fix it and it's not just a permanent problem, but it's always been a tiny bit buggy. Like, I've had to reboot, and usually rebooting solves the issue with the traveler. I'm hoping the alpha stays, stalwart for me through the next few books. Yeah, much more travel coming up. And another announcement I wanted to make. I'm going to be on the Sell More Books Show podcast this coming week, if you were listening in real time. So the episode that drops October 16th and the 23rd. And I have been a long time Sell More Books Show listener from the early days. I haven't been up on my podcasts lately. I've listened to a lot more audiobooks, which takes my audio listening time away from podcasts, unfortunately. But it was really exciting to be on a show that I listened to for a long time. And yeah, so if you are a listener of that show, the Sell More Books Show, check it out the next couple of weeks. That was pretty fun. I'm trying to see, was there anything else I've done? Gearing up for my year of no that I've mentioned before. I'm really excited about it. I'm trying to practice saying no. I think it requires practice if you are someone like me who says yes too easily, and probably without enough thought, or with the calculus that, oh yeah, it's just an hour here, an hour there. I'm committing myself to no more than 1 event a month. Now, whether that means, does that include in person and online? That's a good question. I feel like I'm already caving. I should just one event a month, one recording, in person, online, limit it. It already feels impossible as I'm saying it. So we're going to keep working on it. I'm going to keep practicing. And yeah, that's going to happen. As far as this podcast, I've come to the end of my recorded interviews. I'm taking probably a break, probably to the end of the year. If there is someone that you would like to see me, hear me interview on my Imagining Success series, I have some other wish list authors that I would like to try to get in contact with. But I've had some really great interviews. I've learned a lot. I've had some good conversations. It's been a lot of fun doing it. And I think I would like to continue. But it's also on top of everything else that's been happening. It's just been a busy time. So, but I'm open to suggestions. And if I can get in contact with these people and find some, do some networking, I know some people who know some people at least. So maybe it could happen. Let me know, hit me up in the comments, send me an email if there's someone you'd like to hear me in conversation with about success and their ideas on it, because that's been really cool. Before I recorded this, we recorded another episode of the Ink and Magic podcast. So if you are a listener there, we are probably going to start publishing that in 2 weeks from yesterday. So probably October 25th. Those come out on Fridays? I think, yeah, Fridays. It's been such a long time. I don't even remember how we're doing it. Yeah, we've been reading, we've been talking, we're going to get some more interviews there too. So things are happening. Lots of things are happening. And I'm thinking about my schedule for next year. So 2025, my year of no, which also oddly enough includes no new books, just the way it happened. Although it's probably going to be a self-published book. I have agreed to be in a shared world. So that's exciting. A short, it's going to be a novella, at least one, and we'll see how that works out. But I'm excited to do that. And you'll hear more about that as time progresses. And I can't remember, when does that anthology come out? There might be a short story anthology that releases. I think it's releasing next year. I should go back and look that up. So no full-length books from me. I feel like it's very improbable that I will write and release a full-length self-published book next year, but at least a novella, maybe, depending on how things go, maybe more than that. I'm not committing to anything. But this book should be out. The one that I'm drafting now is a 2026 release at the moment. And I think that is all I have for you. Quick update. Proof of life. I'm still here and still doing things, trying to get back on a reasonable schedule. Work has been crazy, but I've been writing and I've been feeling so good drafting, even as I hate drafting. And we're on track for finishing this draft by the end of the month. I think we're on track, provided I can write while I'm out of town at conferences and on trips. So that's been a struggle, but first drafts, wake up in the morning, do it in the hotel room, should be doable. And I really want to do it. So I'm going to have that as my goal. And really at this point, at the conferences, nothing's happening in the mornings. I have my schedule and I know, that I'm working around. So Library Addict says you should interview Nalini for both podcasts. Yes. Oh, as scary as that is. I'm taking it in. I told Ines, my podcast host on Ink and Magic, and she freaked out as well. We're both freaked out about talking to Nalini. So, and she's lovely. I'm sure I've never met her, but she seems so lovely, and I think it'll be wonderful. And she's very lovely in the comments on Instagram. We're gonna get over ourselves. We're gonna buck up. We're gonna woman up. I'm gonna try to make that happen. I'm terrified. Okay, that is all I have for this morning / whenever you are listening to this. And I hope that you have a wonderful week. I will talk to you the next time. Happy writing, happy reading. For episode show notes and to sign up for the Footnotes newsletter and get the show notes in your inbox, go to myimaginaryfriends.net, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, watch the video episodes on YouTube, email me at podcast@lpenelope.com, and I would appreciate a rating or review to help support the show. My Imaginary Friends is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. For more fantastic podcasts, go to frolic.media/podcasts. Take care, y'all, and I'll see you next time.